Hello everyone, welcome to another Let's Play. My name is Anna Mardal, and this is The Crown and the Flame, Book 3, Chapter 10 of 17. Raydan faces the consequences of betraying his friends and works to gain the trust of the Empress. I've been looking forward to this chapter because I feel that Raydan's betrayal of us was almost certainly motivated by some plan that he has, which he feels will ultimately benefit us. Raydan has repeatedly been shown to be the sort of guy who stands with Kenna, is faithful to her, but he's also a sneaky spy master, clever guy. So I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that whatever he's doing will help us. I don't know how it'll help us, but I believe that it will. So I've been looking forward to exploring that. So let's get into that today. The Spy Master. Now playing as Raydan. In the dungeons of Fedoria, you sit in meditation, struggling to clear your troubled mind. Breathe. If I ever see you again, I'll kill you. Traitor. Val, forgive me. You rise and pace to the window. Beneath your shirt, you feel the weight of the anti-magic book you smuggled out of the Grand Library. If there's even a chance this book holds the key to defeating Azura, I must find someone to translate it. Outside your cell, clanking footsteps mark the hourly patrol. 2 guards stop at your door and stand at rigid attention. Good morning, fine fellows. Do not address me, heretic. A fine day to you as well, my old friend. What do you nickname your guard? Well, I don't want to call him Toady. That's just an insult. So we'll call him Guardsy. Guardsy McGuard's face. I've told you to stop calling me that. My name is not Guardsy. If you say so, Guardsy. Why do you mock me so? Do your people prefer to start each day with a beating? Enough. He is attempting to undermine your discipline. He'd better be careful, or he just might succeed. Listen, Spy Master. Your simple goading might work on the dumb brutes of this land, but we soldiers of the Empire aren't fooled so easily. Then it seems I've finally met my match. Is he being sarcastic? Certainly not. The soldiers glance at one another, uncertain, then grunt and turn away. As you begin your morning exercises, the guards chatter between themselves. I'll admit, their food is disgusting, and their dancing is inelegant, but there is something to this Fedorian music. All I hear when Fedorians play is the hissing of 1,000 snakes. Those words, I recognize them. That's a passphrase used among the agents of the Black Asps. That guard is speaking to me. What do you think about taking a patrol down to one of their taverns this evening? I think if you go drinking in a Fedorian pub, you'd best bring steel. Bring steel? He must be offering to sneak me a weapon. Your friend is right. This city is likely on a knife's edge right now. The Black Asp agent nods. Yes, I read him correctly. Will you ask the guard to sneak you a hidden blade? A weapon could come in handy in a tight spot. So the options are lay low for now or request a weapon for 19 diamonds. God, I don't know if we're going to have enough diamonds to get us to the end. These games are so expensive. They nickel and dime you the whole way here. Enjoy Fedoria, my friends. Just remember to keep a sharp lookout. Guardsy grunts. The Black Asp agent nods. Excellent. That will prove useful. As the chattering guards continue their patrol, a door at the other end of the dungeons cracks open. A young girl enters. Oh God, does Azura have a daughter? She glances around for the guards, then tiptoes shyly up to your cell, carrying a tray of food. Hello. Hello there. She sets the tray down and slides it carefully through the bars. When you bend to retrieve it, she flinches away. There is no need to be afraid. I mean you no harm. Thank you for the food. I had begun to think the Empire did not believe in hospitality. We do, sir. The Empress says that the civility of a people may be judged by the treatment of their lowliest prisoner. Then I am quite content to be the lowliest prisoner of the most civil empire in the world. Her face flickers between amusement and confusion. This girl may be able to give me a picture of what's happening in the palace, if I can gain her trust. My name is Leah. Raydan Lyko. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. As you begin to eat, she comes a few steps closer. Your clothes. Are you from Aurelia, sir? You have a sharp eye. My clothes are indeed Aurelian, though I myself am from Lycos. She looks around nervously, then steps closer and whispers. My mother says people from the 5 kingdoms are barbarians, that most don't bother with nice clothes at all, because it gets in the way of drinking grog and wrestling bears. I can think of a few friends who might fit that assessment. But I've read books about the kingdoms in the library at Morosi, so I know you're not all like that. I should say, you're from Morosi? Yes, sir. I've lived there all my life. I visited recently. It was quite exciting. Leah steps up to the bars, now bubbling with curiosity. Sir, is it true that Lycos has sea monsters? Or that trees in Thorngate grow hard as steel? Or that people from Stormhold hold a festival where they kiss? Slow down, slow down. At this rate, I'll be answering questions all day. Oh, I'm sorry. It's all right. But I have a better idea. Have you heard of Sly Fox Says? No, sir. It's a party game we play in Lycos. Foxes run wild there, you see. Very clever creatures. They've learned many ways to feed themselves, and one of those ways is begging. So they seek out friendly faces by observing people's appearances, and if they judge correctly, they get a meal. I see. How does the game work? We take turns observing facts about one another, then draw deductions, as you did with my clothes. If your deduction is correct, you get to ask me a question, and I must answer truthfully. What if you guess something correctly? Then you must answer a question of mine. Leah bites her lip, uncertain, but her curiosity wins out. Okay, let's play. I'll start. Sly Fox sees that you have a formal manner of speaking and an excellent vocabulary. Sly Fox says, you're an educated noble. That's correct. Now I get to ask a question. What made you come speak with me? I was curious, sir. I've never met someone from the kingdoms before. And given that we're at war, well, I thought that I should. Thank you for your honesty. I believe it is your turn now. Okay. Sly Fox sees that your clothes are very fine. So Sly Fox says you're not a barbarian. You work someplace civilized, perhaps a palace court. That's correct. Yes! Now you may ask me a question. Okay. Are you a prince? Or wait, no, are you a knight? That was 2 questions, but the answer to both is no. In truth, I am a master of spies. Oh! And now, I believe it is my turn. Leah, Sly Fox sees that you have beautiful white hair, and fine clothes and a crown. Leah's hands fidget. Sly Fox says, you are someone very special. Leah averts her eyes at first, then slowly smiles. Yes, I suppose I am. What is your question? Leah, are you the Empress's daughter? Leah shuffles uncomfortably for a moment, then squares her shoulders and looks you directly in the eye. Yes. Your turn. Sly Fox sees that you have kind and honest eyes. Sly Fox says... Leah hesitates, her eyes flicking up to meet yours for a brief moment. Sly Fox says you're a good man. On that one, I'm afraid you are dead wrong. Suddenly, the door to the dungeon flies open, and the Empress enters, flanked by guards. Fetch the spy master and bring him to... Leah? What are you doing here? I was just visiting Sir Raydan. We were playing a game and... Enough! The soldiers shrink away. Leah flinches but stands tall. We were just talking. The Empress's eyes narrow. Then a warm smile spreads across her face. Of course you were, child, of course. But I must speak with our new friend as well. Please run along now. Return to your studies. Leah gives you one last look, then lowers her head and starts toward the door. Yes, Mother. The Empress's eyes follow after her, distracted for a moment. Then her attention returns to you. Bring him to the gardens. Azura turns on her heel and swiftly departs as a dozen guards crowd into your cell. Are you sure you brought enough friends? The unamused guard seizes hold of you. Your captors haul you to the palace courtyard, where the Empress awaits with her personal escort. Sir Joran? Realm rat. Thank you for joining me. Certainly, though I fear I'm overdressed. You hold up your shackled wrists. You are funny, Spy Master. I can see why my daughter took such interest in you. The Empress invites you to walk alongside her. Joran, glowering, falls in close behind. Tell me, what did you think of her? Leah. I think she is... Oh man, we've got kind, intelligent, and unlike you, and I don't know which one's right. Let's say intelligent. I don't want to draw attention to the fact that she's sympathetic to me, and I don't want to insult the Empress, so we'll say quite intelligent. My daughter is educated, yes, but naive. Countless tutors at her disposal, yet still she fails to grasp the one lesson I beg of her to learn. What wisdom is that, Your Radiance? That kindness and trust are precious gems, and a ruler must spend them with utmost caution. You approach the palace gardens. I suppose you assumed your display with the crossbow would buy my trust. No, Your Radiance, I would not dare presume you fool enough to trust me. I hoped merely to borrow your ear, nothing more. Some would say an ear is the greatest vulnerability a ruler could lend a spy. Joran here has counseled me to kill you and be done with it. Honest advice from a loyal soldier. But a soldier is a hammer, Your Radiance, and a hammer regards every uncertainty as a nail. You dare! Azura dismisses Joran with a wave. Your Radiance? Leave us. Leave him? Alone with you? Your Radiance, he could be dangerous. Azura's laugh echoes across the courtyard. And you would protect me, is that it? My great champion, who was defeated by a decrepit brute with a club. Joran's face burns with shame. Begone. Joran bows, staring daggers in your direction, and stalks away. I do not trust you, Raydan Lykel, but I would hear what you have to say. Come. You follow the Empress to the center of the gardens. She takes a seat at the fountain's edge. You are master of spies for Queen Kenna Rhys of Stormholt. I was, Your Radiance, yes. And now you've just decided to change sides. I have. Miraculously thunderstruck by the sudden light of reason, I suppose. Something like that. Azura stares silently into you for what seems like an eternity. Finally, she speaks. You are a stray beast, Spy Master, who has already bitten the hand of one master. Give me one reason I should believe that you won't bite mine. Because the good you can do outweighs the bad. I first saw it when I came to Morosi. You have taken many lives, as has Kenna. But unlike Kenna, your rule is lasting, stable, and prosperous. Your cities thrive, your people are happy. A small smile plays at the corners of Azura's mouth. You speak well, Spy Master, but tell me, what is your measure of Kenna Rhys as a ruler, as a woman? Kenna is compassionate, but naive. Kenna is young, sentimental. She dispenses mercy and judgment, not in the service of strategy, but wherever the winds of passion blow. Truth be told, Your Radiance, she is much like your daughter. The Empress's face twitches with guarded amusement. Is she now? Most interesting. But I grow tired of interrogation. Come, Spy Master, I am sure you must have questions of your own. I do, in fact. Please, ask them freely now, and I will answer as best I can. So we have, how does your power work? Which seems unwise to ask. What do you think of these gardens? Which is safe. And do you speak ancient Erythi? Which seems really unwise to ask. So according to our strategy guide, we're going to say, what do you think of these gardens? Which, I actually like, because when we first meet Raydan, he cares a lot about gardens and symbolism and flowers and talks about them with Kenna and makes her a bouquet. So that actually fits really well with his character. That is your question? I promise to hold your answer in the utmost confidence. Azura chuckles, shaking her head at you, then takes a few moments to contemplate the flowers. I find these gardens lovely. I am pleased we were able to take Fidoria intact. It would have been tragic to sully such beauty. Azura casts an appraising eye over you. I have watched you for some time, Spy Master. In truth, I admire your craft. But you don't trust me. Not yet. My trust is earned with time and obedience. A mischievous smile spreads across her face. Would you care to dine with me? What? She crooks a finger beneath your chin, tracing the blade of her nail along the curve of your neck. I've had a noonday meal set in the gardens. You're welcome to join me. Only if Joran serves us. That can be arranged, unless you prefer the dungeons. Will you play along with the Empress's flirtations? This could be an opportunity to gain her trust, not to mention valuable intel that might help Kenna. So, I mean, yes. Ugh. I would be a fool to turn down an invitation to dine with a beautiful woman. Spare me your flattery. I would not dare flatter you, your radiance. The Empress summons an attendant, murmuring orders in his ear. Then she turns back to you. Follow. Azura leads you to a secluded alcove, where her attendants have laid out a sumptuous meal. A decanter of pale, golden wine glitters in the afternoon light. Quite a meal. I scarcely know where to begin. Perhaps something sweet? Joran appears, carrying a silver tray laden with pastries. He looks you dead in the eyes, hissing his words through gritted teeth. Would you like some lemon tarts? Don't mind if I do. Joran departs and you settle into your meal, but as you reach for your wine, whoops! Your shackled wrist knocks over the glass. Azura eyes you, grinning wickedly. You seem to be having some trouble. I suppose. You'll just have to remove my shackles, or you'll just have to serve me. I don't like either of those, but okay. You'll just have to serve me. The Empress, serving a prisoner. I suppose I could return to my cell. Azura rises from her seat, circles the table, and drapes herself over the arm of your chair. And whatever shall I serve you? Some wine, perhaps? As you wish. Azura lifts a shimmering glass to your lips, and a smoky citrus flavor spills across your tongue. A lone drop clings to the corner of your mouth, and you feel a sudden electric thrill as Azura's fingers brush your lips. Your touch is quite shocking. The affections of a ruler can be painful. Then the line between pleasure and pain is thin indeed. Reaching out, you let your fingers drift over Azura's wrists, then down to her hands. She studies the movement, suddenly pensive. Do you find me beautiful, Spy Master? Inestimably. And how old would you guess I am? I would not. A wise man knows better. Wise men have waged wars for me. What would you do? I would... Let's keep Kenna out of this. Oh, I don't like having to do this. I feel awful. She's so horrible. I would kiss you as no man ever has. And how is that? As if you were not an empress. Azura begins to reply, but before she can do so, you slide a hand along her cheek and lean in. Your lips touch, softly at first, then with greater urgency. Your skin comes alive. The hairs on your neck stand up. You begin to pull away. Not yet. Azura's hands grip your hair, pulling your head back, her kisses moving from your lips to your throat. Your heart races. Every inch of you is on fire. Her tongue. Azura, wait. She releases you with a wistful sigh. You slump in your chair, panting. Sparks dance up and down your arms. Your charms live up to your reputation, Spy Master. A pity you haven't more stamina. She sighs, pats your head, and returns to the other side of the table. Alas, the time for play has passed. Let us turn to the matter at hand. The death of Kenna Reese. You coolly cross your arms to mask the tremors of fear in your hands. Do tell. I wonder, Spy Master, in all your secret gathering, have you ever heard of my shadows? Only whispers of whispers, your radiance. As it should be. They are my order of assassins, and their skill knows no equal. They strike in pairs, first lightning, then thunder. Though, as I recall, King Luther's first wife never lived to hear the thunder. I see. And am I to assume these shadows will soon be loosed upon Kenna? Azura rests her chin thoughtfully on steepled fingers. That, I think, is one question too many for today. She claps her hands and summons the guards. Empress. I'm finished with this prisoner. Return him to his cell. Yes, your radiance. The guard seizes you by the shoulder and begins to haul you away. Oh, and Raydan, sleep well. Tomorrow, we march on Stormhold. Later, in your cell. In you go. Oof. The guard shoves you to the floor and slams the door. Come now, Guardsy. I thought we were past all this. Now you listen, and listen well, miscreant. You may have a fine face and all the pretty words in the world, but if I sniff even a whiff of treachery toward our Empress, I will cut your head from your shoulders and gladly accept the consequences. With a sigh, you stretch out on the bed. You feel something beneath the pillow. It's the dagger. It's an interesting dagger. I think it's a push dagger. The kind that you kind of wear. I think you wrap your fingers through that center bit and around that bar, and the dagger comes up between your fingers. So it's actually quite small, but in close combat, it can be quite deadly. I had to look it up after I watched the second Purge movie. Gosh, what was it called? I think Anarchy. But the main character, the guy, or actually maybe he was, because he was in Anarchy and he was in the third one, which was the Election Day one. And in one of them, it was either Anarchy or Election Day, he uses a push dagger, and I was like, what is that thing? And so I had to look it up, and they're actually quite cool, and I plan to use them in a writing scene someday. But so that's what I think that is, which is good for raiding because it's tiny and easy to conceal, and not something that they're going to immediately find on him, as opposed to like a really long dagger, which would be very hard to conceal. So the Black Asp guy did us good. As your fingers curl around the handle, you give Guardsy a warm smile. There's no need for worry, my friend. I assure you I have only the noblest of intentions. Okay, You went behind enemy lines to gain the trust of the Empress. You conferred with an agent of the Black Asps and gained a concealed weapon. You gained the trust of Leah, the Empress's daughter. You survived a battle of wits with Empress Azura, then joined her for a romantic rendezvous in the gardens, where you learned of a plot to assassinate Kenna and march on Stormholt. We don't have any new recruits. We got Hex and Anton. I'm extremely happy to see that Joran will not be one of our recruits, since the next person is a 3-letter name, and the next person after that is a... I still feel like... I think the bottom one could be Diavalos. I keep losing track of how many letters are in his name, but I think it could be. Except that wouldn't make a lot of sense because he's already on our side, so I'm not sure how he can be any more recruited than he already is. Similarly, for a 3-letter name, we already have Say and Val, so it's like we're not going to re-recruit them. So I'm not sure who those are going to be. I guess we'll find out. Maybe they're entirely new characters who will be introduced at this extremely late stage. So that was good. Actually, I really appreciated a Raydan chapter. You know, if you've been following this, how much I love him. I don't know if I want to marry him or be him, but maybe a little bit of both, actually. You can never have too much Raydan. So no, I'm happy to see that his betrayal was, and I did guess, actually, that he stayed behind looking for someone to translate the book, which is good, because my first thought had been, oh, maybe Clover can read the book, but everything we've seen of Clover is that she's not highly educated. She's a nice woman, great attitude, sweet personality, but she's not, an educated noble's daughter, bookworm type of person. 3 letters. Leah. Okay, so it's going to be Leah and then maybe Diavalos. Okay, no, that I can believe. And so probably Leah will be the one to translate the book and speak ancient Erythi. But anyway, where I was going with that was, my first thought had been, oh, maybe Clover, because we recruited Clover, so maybe she can read this book. But unless ancient Erythi is just the Iron Empire's language, which it appears not to be, she probably wouldn't know it. And also, it was possible to not recruit Clover earlier, so even though we did, she couldn't be the answer for the book for people who didn't get her. So it makes sense to me that Raydan decided to play the long game and let himself be captured, let himself pretend to have changed sides in an attempt to find someone to translate this book. Which, thank God that no one has decided to search his person for knives or books yet, which you would think this incredibly efficient empire would do, but I'm not really sure how accustomed they are to taking prisoners. In fact, I do like the fact that, and we saw this in the Val chapter, when all she had to do to trick them was to put on a uniform and claim that she had special orders from the Empress. And not just that she had special orders from the Empress, she was actually going around saying, the Empress told me to tell you to go out there. Oh, okay, absolutely. I can't do it fast enough. And I actually... Normally that would irk me, because like, these are the worst disciplined soldiers in all of forever. But I actually do like it in this case that it's been really well established that this culture and society has trained them to never question the Empress or anything she says, and people who do question are instantly horribly punished. So it kind of makes sense that somebody can come along and say, yo, hey, the Empress said to tell you to go outside and leave me alone with these prisoners and also give me your keys, because as ridiculous as that sounds, they've been trained to not question anything. They've been trained to just, oh, okay, absolutely, and not argue. So I actually do like that as a characterization, because normally it would bug me, but here it fits. It fits the situation that we've been told that that the Emperor has. And actually, it kind of comes back to, there was this initial question of, is it worth it to give up independence for security? And we're seeing kind of the downside of a culture that's done that, where they've given up so much independence that now everybody is almost a mindless robot, where you can just walk up and say, the Emperor's told you to go over there, and they'll go over there, and they don't question it, they don't think about it, because so it's not just giving up individuality in a short term sort of sense. It's pervasive, and it kind of makes them almost seem not human anymore. In fact, I think Val even accused them of being mind controlled in a more magical sense. And I don't know if that's true or if that was just a taunt, but it certainly feels like that. They've become so attuned to Azura's wishes that they don't have a personality outside of her. So anyway, so that was chapter 10. We've got 7 more chapters. We're screaming towards the end. Thank you for coming along. I don't know how many people are left watching these, but for those of you who are, I really appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.